Hey guys, Roger here, and this is one of the best handsets I've ever used, and it's also one of the best handsets that I've had on the channel. The Mi 11 Ultra. Ultra is definitely the right word to describe this handset. So Xiaomi sent me this to use just for a couple of weeks, and now it's time to send it back, and believe me, I really don't want to. This has so many good features, extremely good specs, and a design that I absolutely love. It supports 2 5G SIM cards, it has Bluetooth 5.2 and support for Wi-Fi 6E as well. To be honest though, I'm not going to talk about all of the specs in huge detail. If you want to know about all of that, just have a look in the description, there'll be a link there if that's what you're after. Now I've heard some people saying that they're confused about the design of the Mi 11 Ultra, especially the back. Well, I can tell you that I'm not confused. This is a really awesome design. I absolutely love how this looks. So let's start with that. This enormous camera module with a 50 megapixel wide angle lens, 48 megapixel periscope telephoto and 48 megapixel ultra wide lens. The back is made of ceramic, and of course you get that crazy built-in display on the back. It's crazy and I love it. It's just brilliant. The cool thing about this display is that you can actually customize it quite a lot. You can display the time, your own text and even images. Plus, you can take selfies using the main lenses on the back of the phone, and you can see yourself in the display while you're doing it. That's very cool. So now that we've spoken about that rear design a little bit, let's talk about the rest of the handset. And this is a thick and heavy phone. And for some reason, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Huawei P30 Pro. The Mi 11 Ultra weighs around 234 grams, so it's quite a hefty handset. It's nice to hold though with the curved edges on both sides of the phone, and although it is a little bit on the heavy side, it feels like a solid device in your hand, so that's nice. I do like the way it feels. As you look around the phone, you'll notice there is no 3.5mm headphone socket, so that's a bit of a shame, but you do still get an infrared blaster, so that's cool. The main display is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass Victus and has lots of cool stuff going on. It's a 6.81 inch Quad HD Plus AMOLED display. It has a 120Hz adaptive refresh rate, supports Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus, and it has a peak brightness of 1700 nits. That's really bright. Videos, photos and games look brilliant, the colours are good. Obviously you can adjust the colour temperature of the display in the settings, but straight out of the box, the colours look really good on this display. Then you have the stereo speakers, which have been tuned by Harmon Kardon, and I have to say they sound really good. They're very nice and loud as well, and I did record a quick clip just to show you, to try and give you an idea of how the speakers sound. Performance is, as you would expect, just brilliant with this. MIUI is very fast and snappy, and the Mi 11 Ultra has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset and 12GB of DDR5 RAM. That means that I can play stuff like PUBG. Admittedly, I can't play it very well, but I can play PUBG and I can also play Fortnite, which is one of my favourites. All of this stuff runs absolutely perfectly on the Mi 11 Ultra. Very cool. This has a 5000 mAh battery, and at the end of most days there'd be about 10%, maybe 5% of the battery remaining, so not bad considering it's running 5G and that amazing display and all of that stuff. Xiaomi unfortunately couldn't send me the power adapter, so I couldn't test the fast charging, but this does support 67 watt wired and wireless charging too. I haven't seen that in action myself obviously, but that's crazy. So the camera is a big part of the Mi 11 Ultra, of course, and it is absolutely packed with features. So many features, and regardless of how you want to take pictures whether that's having everything automatic, or even for people that want to use Pro mode, you've got literally everything here. It records video at 720p, 1080p, 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second, and even 8K at 24 frames per second. The videos look good, and you've got optical image stabilization on the wide and telephoto lenses too, which is pretty cool. Taking photos, and the Mi 11 Ultra can take some really nice pictures, and thing is, I like bright and punchy colours, so I do normally have AI and HDR turned on. Some of you guys will already know that from previous videos. I just like the way those images come out. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. Personally, I just like those bright and punchy colours. Now, I did notice some strange issues when taking images of fast moving things, such as this fighter jet. Maybe the plane was moving just a little bit too fast for the camera, I'm not sure. But maybe this is something that could possibly be picked up in a future software update. The colours do look really good though, even when you don't use AI and HDR. Everything still looks great, I just prefer it with it on. But you can get some really cool shots, especially using the ultra wide lens. That's a cool lens, and I like the way those images come out as well. You get a 5x optical zoom with the telephoto lens, but you can go crazy and zoom in up to 120 times. I do think when you go past about 40 times zoom though, you really start losing that image quality. So about 40 times zoom, that's probably the most that I would use with this handset. The front-facing 20 megapixel camera takes some nice pictures as well. Quality is good, images look nice. Thing is though, you can just turn the phone around and use the lenses on the back. And you can do that while looking at yourself on that mini display. I still think that's very cool. So unfortunately, I can't hold on to this handset any longer. I do need to send it back, but a big thank you to Xiaomi for sending it to me. At least I've had some time to play around with it. And if I manage to get my hands on another one in the future, then I'd really like to make some more content about it. But for now, that is the Mi 11 Ultra. It's a really very cool handset indeed. One last thing to talk about is the Xiaomi Mi UK forum. I'm a member there, and I sometimes write articles about Xiaomi handsets, but there's lots of cool information there about the latest products from Xiaomi. So definitely worth having a look at that, and if you're interested, there's a link to that in the description below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or maybe you found it useful. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing that as well. That's free, and that way you won't miss my next video. I'm Roger with Life of Tech. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.